you just doing that, just say like, everybody shut up, and it's still on silent, and you're just still like watching it with just this like this just glow in your eyes of just like, I love this movie.
It's my favorite, so yeah, I probably would do that.
Santa Claus is coming to town, of course, talking about the origins of Santa Claus, how he came to be. All in all, I thought, again, another great plot. All the characters in there, from the little, I guess, I don't know if you would call them even elves, really. I don't even know what to really even call them anymore. And then you have Thumper, was it the, no, Topper the penguin, that's right. Thumper, jeez Louise. Oh, man. Topper was just so adorable. And when I got the box set, I actually got a little Topper penguin, I guess you would say, like, back when they were, like, Beanie Babies, or, like, a little stuffed animal of Topper. I'm just like, oh, my gosh, I remember this guy. He was awesome. Just all the good times that you just remember from that movie. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah, I love the when they're teaching, is it Father Winter, or the guy who's the old guy, they're teaching him how to walk, put one foot in front of the other.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Winter Warlock, I remember now.
Okay, yes. He was the reason why everybody... I loved how they would end, like, they would, like, fade out to black with the faces of these people looking just so miserable. Like,
yeah. I actually do remember something. I remember something like that, but I also remember looking at some of the kids' faces when, like, their toys were being set on fire. Disclaimer: this is probably one of those things that will scar kids if you let them watch that scene. But I just remember, I think there's some parts of the claymation where it was just like, I just remember some kids like still had like smiles on their faces, and I'm just kind of like, what? It was one of those weird things where I'm just like, why is that? Why is that kid smiling? I mean, like, everybody else is all crying, but there's like maybe like one or two in there that they didn't finish the claymation, so their eyes are like kind of wide open. They have a smile on their face, and I'm like, okay, I know this is kind of like the part where they're sad, but this kid just looks like he's like acting like, oh, fire, yay, this is a fun time for me. It's like, okay, that's twisted and sadistic. Let the fan theories commence right now. But that's just me. I know a lot of people are going to tell me, I'm wrong, I'm just being overreactive, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's one of those things that just stood out to me. I'm sorry. I'm a person that looks at detail, so sue me. I don't care.
It's just funny. I mean, all their faces, I couldn't believe they can do claymation like that back in the 40s. That's when these things came out.
That's right.
But we do have to mention the Little Drummer Boy, too, even though I'm not going to lie to everybody, that was my least favorite.
Oh, yeah? Why was that?
I just didn't really like that one. It didn't have the Christmas feeling to me that all the other ones did.
Right.
I'm like, no, it's not. Oh, Santa and Frosty and Rudolph and yay! And then my parents would turn this one on, and I'd be like, this one just looks evil. Like, kidnapping children and sand, and all the people look mean. So I just think it's so funny, and now that I look back on it, I'm like, oh, this was like the main story behind Christmas. Ooh. Like, uh-oh, not good.
And I'm going to hell.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man.
Oh, that was Jesus. Ooh.
As a kid, were you just kind of in that realm of just like, a little baby's born, so what? Or was it just kind of like one of those things where you just kind of knew, but you kind of didn't care?
Exactly. I just thought it was funny. I liked the animals, and they would dance with the drums. But other than that, all the people look scary to me, and they really, if you do watch it, they do kind of look creepy. I'm like, oh, they didn't make them as happy as all the other people.
Right. Well, I think also kind of makes it like a really, at least I would have to agree, this is kind of one of those movies I don't certainly enjoy too much. I think it might do with the fact that, some spots are a little too real, I guess you could say. Like the kids, origins of, he's basically a runaway, and his parents were basically killed. They even show like his father getting kind of like stabbed, and I'm just like, oh, well, that's something good to put.
Merry Christmas.
Right. Oh, and then of course, Baba, the lamb, gets run over by a Roman guy, and it's like, oh God. I'm looking back and I'm like, this movie is not for children. What is this? They don't need to be introduced to death right away.
It was definitely the most, sad and like you were saying, realistic. Like, this is what really happened. And then everyone's like, oh, right, we can just turn on Frosty again.
Back to Frosty, back to Rudolph, back to the... Back to happy times, back to happy times, back to happy times.
But, I mean, we have to mention it. It's still a great claymation movie. And
oh, yeah.
Great job. And it's a good telling of the story behind Christmas.
As well as, good way to just scar your kids for at least about a week. I'm sorry, people, but it's one of those movies, again, now looking at it, I'm like, this is just not something I probably would show my kids when they're at least 5 or 6. I think I'd wait until at least when they're a little older. I think it's just one of those movies that I just don't know. It just kind of seems a little too real, even if it is claymation, like you said. I'm not denying great job on claymation, great job on the story. Voice actors are great. It's just some parts were just a little too real for me, and it just didn't work. But anyway, moving along, we're gonna now go into something that you brought up and was very interesting. Picking a song that really you enjoy to hear, during the Christmas time, or something that's your favorite to hear during Christmas. As far as like song, that I really enjoy was It's Beginning to Look a Lot by Christmas, and I believe that Frank Sinatra sings the earlier version of it, and it's just so beautiful. It's just one of those things where it's just happy-go-lucky, it's light, it's just melodic. I love every single thing about it, and I'm mainly talking about the one that you would see in Home Alone, Lost in New York, where you just hear that when Kevin's about to go into a limo and he's got his own pizza, and it's just something it's just really beautiful. Just hearing that and just seeing just seeing like the compare and contrast of, the concierge, who of course Tim Curry, one of my favorite actors of all time, as if I haven't said that before. He just seeing, the side-by-side deal the fading deal, that's right, from the Grinch's smile to just his smile, it's just beautiful. I hate the fact that they put a beautiful song into like one of those evil moments, but it's just one of those things where it's like, again, it's a beautiful song. It makes everybody happy, and it makes everybody think of like, it's a beautiful time, bells are going off, toys in every store. It just reminds you of like the simple life where people were always just merry and happy, and they were just like, Merry Christmas to everybody. And then you look at that compared to now, and it's like, wow, we really just we plumb fucked up somehow. Somewhere in between, we just done goofed. But that's just me. I don't know. So, what's one of your favorite songs, Tori?
Yeah, I remember telling you to pick a song, and then I remembered that I couldn't do that. I'd have to pick 3.
Oh, really?
So I cheated because I don't know how to pick one. Because I had to pick like one. You want to have it like like bring up like past memories and stuff, and you're like, oh, this is a good song. Like, oh, I remember this. And then one, I kind of was like, well. I was like, well, you gotta pick one that represents the real meaning of Christmas with the Christianity behind it.
Right.
And then I also one that's just like, yes, it's Christmas. That's kind of how usually usually am. We're like, yes, it's Christmas.
Right.
Like, so I'm gonna just say them all.
All right.
You know, make fun, like the rules. You followed the rules, and I didn't. So, for my religious aspect one, I love the song "Mary Did You Know," and I love the version that Pentatonics does of it. And by the way, Pentatonics has a special tonight on NBC, I'm pretty sure. And for some reason, I love the Pentatonics now. Do you know who Pentatonics are?
Yeah, the name sounds very familiar. I think I might have heard a little bit of it.
Yeah, there's a 5, it's an a cappella group, 5 people, amazing voices, and they sometimes add a little bass in there, but other than that, it's just their voices singing, and they just always sing with such passion because that's what they have to do. It's all about their vocals.
Okay.
And every song they redo, I'm always like, oh yes, I like it so much better now. So the "Mary Did You Know" song.
All right.
I love. And then my, flashback to Christmas song is it comes out of the Grinch, the new live-action Grinch. I say new, probably like 10 years old. But the live-action with Jim Carrey, the "Where Are You Christmas?" But I like the Faith Hill version of it the best. Like when she's like, it's kind of like what you were saying, like, "Where are you Christmas?" Like, oh, it's all about shopping and buying toys and everything, but what's the real meaning behind Christmas? That all makes me like, oh, I love Christmas. And then the most fun song that whenever it's on the radio, I just blast it, is "Santa Claus is Coming to Town" by the Jackson 5. The Santa Claus is coming to town. Oh. Their high-ass voices up there. I'm like, oh, this is my favorite song.
As soon as you sang it, I knew exactly what you were talking about. I'm like, oh, that one, yeah, that's.
Yep, the one that you can't ever get up there. You stay up there, Michael. I'll stay down here.
Well, there was a reason why he was grabbing his crotch for so many years. It was so he was able to hit those high notes. So.
Is that right? Like, let's push him back up.
See, and it's just amazing how many songs they can make about Christmas and how many are just so beautiful. And unfortunately, how many can be taken the wrong way, which brings us into a very interesting song. And you brought this up, and I thought this was just a great topic to kind of transition to and to kind of end the show with, talking a bit about the song "Baby, It's Cold Outside." This song, I actually had to listen to a couple versions of it. I listened to the only people singing it, because I'm thinking, okay, I need to just get a feel for it, see what it's like, and I loved the song. I thought that every lyric of it, the melody was great. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I think it was with Michael Bublé and Alana something. I'm trying to remember what her name was. But all in all, I listened to the song and I'm thinking, hey, this is great. I love this song. It's nice. It's catchy. It's something that it's just really good. And then of course you see the ones where people are either acting it out or they're just singing it and they're doing choreography. And of course you're just like, oh, well, that's interesting. And then, of course, I had to read the controversy of what was going on. And then they bring up the topic of date rape. And I'm like, oh, well, that's just great that Christmas can be all about giving and sharing and family. And apparently date rape. Great job, people. You guys are just brightening my spirits this year. Jeez Louise. I mean, because here's basically, for those of you that don't know, basically, this song was just basically supposed to be centered around like a wolf and a mouse, and the mouse is basically trying to get out, but the wolf is saying, no, it's cold outside, stay in. And then somebody got the idea that somehow it's a guy trying to keep the girl in and just, I guess, rape her or something like that. It's just one of those things where it's like somebody's reading too much into this situation, okay? I understand some of the lyrics just sound like that, but in all honesty, come on. If somebody, I think one of the line was, what did you put in this drink? Or what? Or what?